Hello, everybody. This is Julissa. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much, everybody, who's listening right now in the podcast. It is Sunday, May 31st, 2026. Today is the last day of the month, and I wanted to come here and make this video about the situation that happened in New York City. And it's funny because I'm wearing the T-shirt that says New York, but it was not planned for that. But what I'm saying is, about a week ago, I came here and told you about that lady that fell into a sinkhole, right? And now we have another situation regarding a sinkhole in Brooklyn, New York. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that before I continue. Thank you guys so much, everybody who's using Spotify to listen to the podcast. If you follow me, the podcast Julissadesigns on Spotify, you get a notification every time I make a new episode. So that really helps me as a creator. The same thing is if you do this for Apple Podcasts. And thank you guys so much, everybody who's using Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pandora Music to listen to this podcast. I really appreciate you guys supporting the podcast. If you have a question for me or if you want to leave a comment, you can go right ahead. If you want to email me any questions, you can always email me, Julissadesigns.com. And also, if you want to know more information about the clothing that I make, as you can see behind me, if you're watching this video right now, you can see that I am on full production mode right now. You can just visit my website, Julissadesigns.com, to check out the latest collection and the previous collection, which is now on sale. I also wanted to say that I'm also on Patreon, and you can find me on the link on the description of this video of this podcast. You can see the link there for Patreon. So if you want to support me, you can also do that through that. And of course, I want to thank everybody who's watching this video right now on YouTube. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, right? Thank you guys so much for all the support. You know, I've been hearing a lot of stuff that has been happening the last couple of days, and I feel like, time is just speeding up so fast, it's already May 31st, right? How crazy is that? Um, there were a couple of explosions that happened in the East Coast. I'm not going to talk to you guys about that. I'm going to talk to you about the situation that happened in Brooklyn. But I find it interesting that when one thing happens, about something, then something similar happens again. It's almost like it becomes a trend, and that thing is always so bizarre and strange, right? But there is a video out there that just became viral, and this is about the men who are climbing out of a sinkhole in Brooklyn, New York City around 2 a.m. in the morning. How? What? What are they doing? Are they part of a company that's working like Con Ed or something like that? Probably not, right? And the strange thing is that in the age of technology that we live in right now, there's always somebody recording. There's always somebody listening. If you don't, even if you don't see them, everybody has their phones. There's always a hidden camera. There's always a ring door camera. Somebody's always recording, right? And of course, like I said, there's a viral video of all these men, right? I don't know if it was six of them coming out of the sinkhole in the middle of the street at 2 a.m. in the morning in New York City street, right? And immediately after they do that, they tend to start changing their clothing, right? In the street, right there on the street, because it's 2 a.m. They probably think nobody's really paying attention to them. They're changing their clothing and then they get into a car and leave. Like, what? Now, the police is saying that they are investigating, right? This is very strange. It's very, I mean, when it comes to like a safety, especially a city of New York City, a city like New York, you want to make sure like the city is aware that something crazy is going on the ground, right? Like I said, like a week ago, we have a lady who basically fall down into a sinkhole that was uncovered in the middle of New York City, and people are saying, "Oh, it's definitely." I probably mentioned just the same thing that I'm saying right now. I said it on my previous video. It was probably the company who went there to do a job and didn't close it correctly. But now we have a group of men who not even the authorities are aware who they are, and they go out there, open sinkholes, right? They take the cover out, um, They climb down, stay there for about 3 hours, and come back out in the middle of the night, and then they go on about their business. So, who are these people? Why are they doing that? What are they doing over there? Right? So, let me read this article briefly to you because this should be very alarming, right? All these security cameras, all this security technology, and all of that. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're investigating what's going on with that because it's not really a company doing work. So why are citizens allowed to do something like this, right? Are they the one who left the cover, um, you know, not closed properly, and that's why that lady fell down and lost her life? Is this like related to that? Were they around that area like the days prior? You never know, right? And like I always tell to you guys, everything comes to light, right? Even if you want to do this at 2 a.m. in the morning, everything comes to light. Several men were caught on video entering a sewer manhole in Brooklyn and then emerging from it hours later Friday morning. Now, police are trying to determine what exactly they were doing underground. And this was, like I said, caught on camera. And it says here that a group of men appears to be that a group of men, at least 7 men, gathered around the manhole on McDonald Avenue and Collin Lane in Flatbush late Thursday night. Some of the men appeared to be wearing waders and gloves. Um, Let me just see if I can to better understand what that is exactly. Like obviously I know what gloves are. So waders is that type of um outfit, I guess. Like it's almost like a covering that people that do underground work wear. So, hmm. It appeared, okay, so it says here that they were wearing waders and gloves. One by one, the 7 descended right below ground using flashlights as their guide and cars to light up the area. Another camera captured the 7 men emerging from the same manhole just after 2 a.m. on Friday morning. So here's the thing though. If you're telling me the police investigating, that means that there's no like legitimate company who was allowed and permitted by the city to go underground, right? And the reason that I bring up that lady who passed away, I don't mean to be repeating myself here, but it's interesting because when we saw that the lady, I mean, the video has not been released yet, but she, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, this lady was parking her car in New York City and she got out of her car and she immediately falls down on a sinkhole, manhole, they're saying, because the cover was left open, right? And if they have men who do this during the overnight hours that nobody knows who they are and they go in and then they leave, maybe they're not even covering the sinkhole properly. Maybe this is not the fault of that other company that I was mentioning to you guys, right? Why are these unauthorized men allowed to go underground and do this, and what exactly is that they're doing, right? So this should be, like I said, very alarming. What is it that they're doing? So let me continue to read. It says here that another camera captured the 7 men emerging from the same manhole just after 2 a.m. Friday. They appeared to change clothes after climbing out. A few appeared to be shirtless on the side of the road. In the video, what seems to be the sound of a manhole covering being replaced can be heard before the group leaves the area. What is that even? How is this even allowed? Right? What type of business are they running down there? Because normally, when you see a work like this being done on the street, it's usually like a policeman, directing traffic. There is, the signs that construction is happening, some type of work is being done. There's usually like the orange cone separating the street so people don't drive over the opening of the manhole, the sinkhole. So what is going on, right? And it says here the NYPD is investigating, and people started calling the authorities, and they went to the scene. But when they went there, they got there, the man had already left. Okay, crews from the Department of Environmental Protection were also on the scene. They lowered what appeared to be a camera with light into the manhole as they inspected the sewer system. And they also said, right, the DEP, which is the Department of Environmental Protection, said that they are inspecting the sewer infrastructure in the area to make sure nothing was damaged. Like that is like that's like you're part of this organization to protect the sewers in New York, right? And they're telling you there were men that went there, 7 of them, dressed up like they were doing some type of work, right? And the timing of it is very particular. They obviously were trying to do this in a time that not to cause so much attention to themselves. Even though they were changing clothes right in the middle of the street, and in New York it's always busy regardless. Well, at 2 a.m. maybe not as busy, but they were just doing this there. And how come there's no like an alert, right? There was not. I don't mean the light here is just getting my face. And how come there wasn't any alert? Hey, somebody's on the ground. This type of area, have somebody go check, right? Because they could be doing something illegal there, right? I'm surprised if they don't have an alert or somebody with underground camera, right, trying to see what's going on. Why is somebody basically breaking in into an area that they don't have authorization to do some type of work to even be there? So they're saying they're investigating to make sure the infrastructure and there was no damage done. And they say entering the sewer system is both illegal and extremely dangerous. Sewers can contain numerous hazards, including noxious and potential deadly gases, unstable surfaces, flooding risk, and confined spaces. For this reason, members of the public should not enter a pipe drain or a manhole or anything else, the spokesperson said. Police say that there is no apparent link to terrorism and they are actively working to identify and find the men in the video, and they could face burglary charges if they are caught. Hmm. So the crazy thing about all of this is that apparently this has happened also on another street in New York City again. According to police, 8 individuals were seen entering a manhole near Hayward Street and Bedford Avenue around 1 a.m. Friday, then exiting around 3:40 a.m. before fleeing the scene in a vehicle. Police said that they were alerted well after the fact and no arrests have been made. So a similar incident happened in Williamsburg. So now we have two things that happen. Similar things. 7 to 8 men go down this manhole, right? And stay there for a couple hours and then come back out, change their clothes and leave, right? And then, then we have that lady that fell with on a manhole that was uh open, that was left basically open. I am so shocked that the authorities, especially like I said, in a city like New York, they haven't been like I am so surprised that this is actually happening in a city like New York City. Because you will expect a city like that will have all the protection, compared to other cities, all the protection in the world, like some type of alert that will tell, hey, somebody's going down this manhole. Is there any work scheduled for that time? Why are they going at 2 in the morning? Right? So it's very interesting. So I wonder what it is that they're doing. I'm trying to see if people have left any comments here about this because it's very it's very surprising. It's very surprising. How can they not know who they are? I mean, it's not like there's an attack on the story that they're searching for one person. That, oh my goodness, if you see, but you have basically seven different faces that you can put out there because there's cameras everywhere. How come there's no like videos of them driving in the license plates of the car, right? You drive in New York and you pass one of those tolls and you get the bill in the mail. What is the license plate of that car that's dropping them off and picking them up, right? Who's the owner of that car? This is very like, it's almost like sketchy because you would think by now they will have more information. That's the reason that I'm saying that. I mean, you cannot drive in New York City toll area and not and and think that you're not gonna get a bill in the mail. They'll send you the bill immediately within a week or so. So how can they not know who these people are? There's cameras everywhere. At least know who's the owner of the car. And I'm trying to get to the comments here before I finish. So, because I mean, by now, I think if it was like a official company, they would have already come out and say, "Oh yeah, we apologize. That was actually one of we sent seven people out there to work and check on something, and there was a miscommunication, but they're authorized to be there." But like it happened twice already, 7 to 8 men. Very strange. Somebody says bizarre situation, but it merits further investigation. Maybe these people are doing a little. Uh, I'm not gonna read all of that because that's very weird. And somebody says several men coming and going in the sewer system under a neighborhood in New York City. What are you waiting for? The city in the state is should be doing more, right? Yes, that's what I am surprised. I think I'm not really surprised about them doing that. I'm surprised that they're getting away with it and that they're like, oh, we have no idea who these men are. Like I said, there's cameras everywhere in New York City. Out of all the cities, probably New York is the one that has the most cameras. And how can they be like, oh, we have no, but they didn't do anything to they didn't do really, we didn't find any damage down there. Why are they being allowed then to go? So if you want to clear them out already without even releasing who they are, why are we covering this up, right? Um, and almost like dismissing it. Oh yeah, we're investigating, but we want to let you know that no damage was made. Okay, so let me see. Well, not many people are commenting. I think people are just more surprised by it about this. So let me know, guys, what you think about this. You can leave a comment. This is very strange. Hopefully, we'll get more information, more hopefully, an update about this in this upcoming week in June, right? Then today's the last day of May. That's why I say that. Thank you guys so much for coming to the channel. Thank you, everybody who's listening to the podcast. Have a good day. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.